clickety clack, along main lines, rickety track.
She whispers softly in my ear,
just to say your last name.
Just find a place to make the scent again easy.
that's just the way it is. Sit down, see when things can only get better.
Yet the same in so many ways.
I no recollection of the last time I came here.
But if we get much closer, I could lose control. And if your heart surrenders, you'll need me to hold.
I wouldn't be myself without you. Take a piece, take a picture of me. I don't care what happens, see, 'cause I know I'm happy.
Hello everybody and welcome once again to Kandu Arts for Sustainable Development's Open Mic for Open Minds in association with the Revo Lounge. Now, this is episode 85 and my name is Brian Reed. All right, and there's only one thing to talk about this week, despite all of the myriad bad, terrible, horrible things that are happening all around the world. Okay, we're back to that old standby Tory sleaze. Okay, and that they managed to really get this so wrong this week. It's been unbelievable. You might remember it's less than a decade, since the MP's expenses scandal, okay, where literally hundreds of supposedly law-abiding, respectable citizens who are representing their constituencies in the Parliament, okay, were getting by on a nod and a wink on the most outrageous expenses it claims, feathering their pockets, employing family members at overinflated, using up all their allowances, just squeezing every last cent out of the system, okay? And that still wasn't enough. They had to cheat it. They had to lie about applicants. They used to call, find different names for things so that they could get more money out of it, all right? And when they were finally discovered, all right, the shock, that sort of prompted the debate about standards in public life, if in fact you think there are any standards in public life, because from where I'm sitting, it's a cesspit. And I'm not going to say swamp because it's worse than that. Okay, this is like the La Brea tar pit, where no matter who you are, no matter how pristine you are, you cannot not be damaged or soiled by association with this institution. A place where people, okay, of a dubious qualification, apart from the fact that they have stuck their noses so far up the backside of the ruling parties, all right, in order to make themselves suitable candidates. I mean, just look around us. I mean, we've got an MP here who's risen without trace. I don't understand what she's done about anything, okay, apart from, just get up people's noses with her just ongoing, let's tick the box for the Tory party every place we go, and let's pretend that everything's fine while I'm doing okay, Jack. She shall remain nameless, okay, but you all know who she is, all right? And I'll let you into a secret. I've met her and she's not very nice. But then again, my perspective may be coloured somewhat by my long association with the causes from the other side of the political divide. But talking specifically about Owen Paterson, here's a guy. I don't know what MPs are now. Is it £80,000 a year or 75 grand a year? 70 grand a year? Either way, that's actually twice the national average wage, okay, which is a pretty good deal. Yeah, But of course, when you got to run 2 houses and run a constituency, thing, and then you've got to go back to London for the big, especially like out in the sticks and what have you. Yes, no, there are all sorts of mechanisms in which you can afford to do all this, and that is done for you, okay, by the state, by the government giving you money for it. All right, but this guy, Owen Paterson, he's getting paid a good whack, all right, and yet he's trousering in, up to £500,000 from people, okay, whose only goal is to enhance their business. And his way to do that is to lobby extensively on their behalf, okay, as in his capacity as an MP, where he's elected to represent his voters in his constituencies. And by any standards, that is wrong, out of order. And yet, rather than watch him be sanctioned by the Parliamentary Standards Committee, the Tories took it upon themselves to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, hey, we're going to abolish that because we need a right of appeal, okay? And I think that for every single person that's ever been wrongly convicted, all right, and told they got no right of appeal, yeah, that's a particularly savage and disgusting display of government power, okay, which means they're not interested in the reality of keeping standards in public life up. They're interested in looking after their mates, okay, and they're looking at themselves and thinking, if he's in trouble, I could be next. All right, that's the bottom line motivation for these people. And I think that we have to ask ourselves, who's Boris protecting? Is it Owen Paterson, or is it himself? Because he's still got long-standing allegations of political and financial sleaze racking up against him. We haven't forgotten how much he spent on his wallpaper in Downing Street flat. We haven't forgotten the fact that he's got Tory donors paying for his holidays. We haven't forgotten the fact that he's told everybody over and over again that I'm unable to live on the Prime Minister's salary. Okay? Well, I'm sorry, Boris. If you can't live on the Prime Minister's salary, then stop being Prime Minister and go and do what you were supposed to do, which is like some kind of high wire vaudeville act, okay, where you dance on the string for the powers that be, and they pay you numbers with lots of noughts on the end, okay, so that you can do whatever you want. All right? But, while you're pretending to be our Prime Minister, we expect a little bit more from you. And that's the thing that stresses me out about this government so much, is I don't get any sense or any feeling that they really give a toss about anybody but themselves. All right? And it means, and the funniest thing of all is that after the government basically abolished the rules standards to get his mate, get Owen Paterson off the hook and stop him getting suspended, and they realised they made a terrible mistake when everybody on both sides of the house went up in arms about it, and they realised they couldn't do it. They issued a statement saying that this was going to be changed, and they didn't even tell Owen Paterson. Right? So the guy that they went to bat for, they left him high and dry. Why? Because he was just being used. Because they don't care about Owen Paterson. They don't care about the fact this is all made up outrage, and we're protecting, and everybody's entitled to a right of appeal. Okay. So he's instantly resigned, all right, claiming that people had used the death of his wife, or suicide, I believe, as some kind of stick to beat him with. When the truth of the matter is, the only person that's actually raised it is Boris Johnson and Owen Paterson, okay, who are quite happy to use any device, all right, in order to get themselves out of it, to deflect the barbs that are heading their way. So I'm so disgusted, but I'm not surprised. So I'm unsurprisingly disgusted, okay, and you should be too. But hey, that's enough of that, okay, because talking about the Tory government just puts a bad taste in my mouth. And this is all about the open mic. This is all about goodness. This is all about good stuff. This is all about people doing positive things in their community and enjoying each other's company and each other's skill. So without further ado, let's take this open mic away. Thank you.
Follow me, I'll follow you through the light of the morning star, strolling down the frosty fields. We look around, it's just you and me. Step by step, we leave our home. We live again in this new world. A morning walk, a morning walk. Frozen rust on this icy land. Our hearts will keep us warm. How beautiful the sky looks through your eyes. In your smile, I find my own. Step by step, we leave our home. We live again in this brand new world. Morning walk, morning walk, morning walk. A morning walk. The winter sun never looked so nice, but your glance makes it feel so. Step by step, we leave our home. We live again in this new world. Oh no, a morning walk. A morning walk. A morning walk. A morning walk.
called Purple Moon Blues.
It feels we're going separate ways. It hurts, it doesn't feel the same. By losing you, I lost my purple moon. It doesn't shine its magic light anymore. You talk to me like we are strangers and don't know each other anymore. By losing you, I lost my purple moon. I wish your eyes would never shut their doors. You are my mirror, but you are no longer anymore. By losing you, I lost my purple moon. I wish you could just let each other go. I wish we could have just tell each other no, 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 no. Yes. By losing you, I lost my purple moon. Your smile, the only thing that really, really makes me smile. I losing you, I lost my purple moon.
Fields of Gold, Annie and Don.
You remember me when the west wind moves on the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous skies. We walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while on the field of barley. In his arms she fell as her head came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. See the west wind move like a lover's soul upon the fields of barley. Feel her body rise when you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. Never made promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. We'll walk in fields of gold. on the fields of Bali. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky. We walked in fields of gold, and we walked in fields of gold, and we walked in fields of gold.
This was my childhood days, 1941 to 59. The lane that I grew up in so many years ago was special and so full of fun when I was just a girl. Our little house, 2 up, 2 down, was standing in a row, and all the years that I have lived, I remember them the best. The fields of England's and Westmead was where we used to play, and the midday milk upon the door was what we'd waited for. Bill Dancy and his trusty steed, the fresh milk from the cow he eats, his shiny churns of creamy milk, with label at the side it gleams. But then there was old Jimmy Davis, with the news on Friday gave us, and up the lane the bulwark stands, so big and proud over all England's. Also the cry of rags and bones came from the voice of old Chevrons. We danced around his old handcar. Goodness knows how we had the heart, shouldn't have done it. And as the years went rolling by, that lane I loved, it seemed to die. Our house is gone and so's our friends. 'Twas Wood Lane at its very best, with all the folk that I once knew. I wonder if you remember too.
I'll do another colour. This is Turning Page by Sleeping at Last. I've waited 100 years. I'd wait 1,000,000 more for you. For nothing prepared me for what the privilege of being yours would do. If I had only felt the warmth within your touch, if I had only seen how you smile when you blush, how you curl your lip and you concentrate enough, I would have known what I was living for all along. What I've been living for. Your love is my turning page, where only the sweetest words remain. And every kiss is a cursive line, every touch is a redefined phrase. But I surrender who I've been for who you are. For nothing makes me stronger than your fragile heart. If I had only felt what it feels to be yours, I would have known what I was living for all along. What I've been living for. Though we're tethered with the story we must tell, when I saw you, well, I knew we'd tell you well with the whisper. We can face the vicious seas like a feather, bringing kingdoms to their knees. But I surrender who I've been for who you
this tickled me pink. I saw it the other day, and some of you may have heard of this guy. His name's Brian Bilston. Oh, yeah, he's great. He's an internet poet of some renown, Twitter man. And this is called How Much I Dislike the Daily Mail. And he wrote it just after he'd been offered the Daily Mail as something to read on a flight somewhere. And then rather than read that, he wrote this. I would rather eat quavers that are 6 weeks stale, blow dry the hair of Gareth Bale, listen to the songs of Jimmy Nail, than read one page of the Daily Mail. If I were bored in a waiting room in Perivale, on a 12-hour trip on British Rail, or a world circumnavigational sail, I would not read the Daily Mail. I would happily read the complete works of Peter Mayle, the autobiography of Dan Quayle, selected scripts from Emmerdale, but I couldn't ever read the Daily Mail. Far better to stand outside in a storm of hail, be blown out to sea by a powerful gale, be swallowed by a humpback whale, than have to read the Daily Mail. Even if I was blind, and it was the only thing in Braille, I still wouldn't read the Daily Bloody Mail. Thank you very much.
Imagine a world of peace, a place where people respect each other. Imagine a world where all little children play together regardless of their color. Imagine a world of laughter, of joy, happiness, and free from greed. Imagine a world of plenty and abundance of food for body and soul. A world where love is our goal. Just imagine.
Just imagine.
A little bit of story on this one is that I like Ed Sheeran, Annie hates Ed Sheeran, and when I was listening to an Ed Sheeran song, it reminded me about, just after my mum died, I cleared out the contents of her locker, and you'll hear from the song that there was a certain resonance. So Annie's going to introduce this through a little bit of Ed Sheeran, which she doesn't want to do. She said it will badly affect her street cred, but she's agreed to do it, and that's the opening of the poem, and then I continue with the rest of the poem. Over to Annie.
I took the supermarket flowers from the windowsill, threw the day-old tea from the cup, packed up the photo album Matthew had made, memories of a life that's been loved.
It's called Supermarket Flowers, after Ed Sheeran, in memory. The tears fell the same way as in the song, slowly down my cheek as I remembered my mum. Not sure what was in the tears, if tears have content. Stool-seated, house-coated smile, hard work, sacrifice, ambition for me, not herself, care, pride, washed clothes folded very early on the heater in the kitchen, socks, vest and pants in a neat pile, warming me daily, monthly, forever. Good night and God bless, she said every night, as her hairnet touched my face in the dark, and I knew somewhere deep within her she loved me.
Hello, everybody. And if you're watching this part, that means we've come to the end of another open mic here for Kandu Arts for Sustainable Development. And I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And I'm really looking forward to us continuing as we go along, as we enter the I don't know. It's not the death zone of Christmas. It's the zone where hope goes to die. I think that's more like how I feel about it. and where everybody's like sort of trying to think about having a good Christmas, but actually it's what's coming after Christmas, like the real winter. Okay, that's going to be scary. Another year of this government in power, and whatever else is at help for us. But in the meantime, all right, if you'd like to join us on our quest to bring enjoyment to our community, then you can do so by sending your personal artistic endeavors to openmic@kandu-arts.com, and we will add you to our diversity. All right. Until then, take it away, Ed Dedegood. Thank you very much.
And who should fear it now? Waiting in the gutter, just like the others who bring it down. Who should know the truth? Why, everyone. I have got the proof, and I will tell the world. You will run, and you will try to hide, but you have not got pride. You disgust all that is good, never doing the doing that you should. Here comes another photo op. You got to smile and now you stop picking up the letter that you drop. There's no integrity in party fallacy. If you really want to be free, come and see, come and play with authenticity, integrity, before you sink into your own misery. Now, that's a little message out there for anyone that isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing in this world. I don't know who that could be. It could be all sorts of people. It could be, I don't know. But for all the people that should have responsibilities to look after not just the planet, the people in the localities on a local and a national level, whether it's, actively tipping, sewage into our rivers and stuff, or not feeding children, cutting on the £20 uplift, stuff like that. The people that put party politics before the people they're supposed to be representing. That's all the MPs, and unfortunately it's a lot of local party political, I don't know what you want to call yourselves, but time to cop yourselves on, yeah? Only way forward now is everyone being independent, working together collectively for the betterment of everyone, not this absurd amateur party political poppycock. Anyway, for everyone else out there who's trying the hardest, all you fantastic people that are doing good in the world, good luck to you. We support that, don't we, everyone? But don't we? Good luck.